My name is Rita Uwaka. I work with Friends of the Earth Nigeria and I coordinate the Forest and Biodiversity Program for Friends of the Earth Africa. We identify the problems in communities that is associated with land grabs, deforestation, livelihood truncation as a result of the activities of agro-commodities companies in different territories in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Cameroon and Liberia. We do this by creating awareness on the tactics that this company use and also how they can unite, in solidarity to make informed choices. They need their land back because compensation is not enough. They want to be able to trade from the resources of the forest to be able to support their family needs, to support their health, to support their nutrition. Community people's rights are human rights. They want their rights to be respected. SIAP Nigeria Limited started operating in 2012. There's been a lot of issues around land rights, around violation of workers' rights, around environmental degradation and all forms of social, environmental and gender abuses. The European institutions need to understand the violations of European countries in Africa and listen to the voices of impacted communities as a result of agro-commodities companies' operations, and also ensure that there is mandatory human rights due diligence. Oil palm plantations seem to be the most notorious of all the agro-commodities companies, and luckily is listed among the commodities under the EU anti-deforestation regulation. The EU has a lot to do to hold this company accountable. By the time you continue to invest in these companies, it's like you're taking the rights of communities away. It's like you continue with the destruction of our forests, of our water bodies. This poses a lot of hazards on communities that depend on these resources, especially women and those that fall under their care.
My name is Gladys, Osaghae. I'm from Omorefe community, Edo State in Nigeria. I'm a farmer representing the women in my community in Nigeria. Presco PLC took over the land, destroy our properties, our crops we planted in the land. After destroying the property, after destroying the crops, there was no food again. We depend on farming. We don't know where to go. That's why I'm here representing the women. So we women, we are suffering. When children are hungry, mommy want to eat. They don't go to daddy. They go to mommy first. No, we have not been able to take care for them. After grabbing the land, nowhere to farm again. Nowhere to get food from. Suffering came. They dug a trench around the community. So there's no way we can go to the farmland. You cannot go there and you give yourself to them to be beaten up or be arrested. That is an impact that affects the community, mostly, especially the women. We don't have power. We cannot fight them back. We need a helper. So that's why I'm here.
If you bring down all the forest and convert it to plantations, that is not a solution to the food crisis, to the climate crisis or biodiversity crisis or care crisis. And that's why we're saying that compensation is not enough, because community feel that when compensations are paid, it's going to get finished. And these compensations are paid once in a lifetime. So it's not like it's something that you get every month or every other week. And they are usually not adequate. We want the EU, for example, to tackle these human rights violations of EU companies in Africa by ensuring that their rights, the rights of communities where these companies operate, are respected, not violated. Stop the land grab. Plantations are not forests. Stop the human rights violations. Stop treating community people as lesser beings. You know, using a forced certification scheme is not a solution, you know, and also not adopting causing divide and rule in communities, which is one of the tactics that SIAT and its subsidiaries are using to divide communities, to make them more powerless, and for them to gain more ground, to grab more lands, make more profits with produce to feed international market at the detriment of communities at the front line. We're saying no to that. We're saying no to all forms of harassment, intimidation, and criminalization of human rights defenders, also community activists that are saying no to these violations on the ground. This is unfair, and they need to watch out for the kind of violence that happen in areas where they operate against women.